You want to hear me say sorry? I am absolutely sorry. I have been sorry since day one.
They were two married couples, beautiful, vibrant, with the whole world ahead of them. Yet what no one in the little town of Meridian, Idaho knew was that one of these wives was sleeping with the other woman's husband. It was an affair that would shatter their lives, leaving one man dead and the other in jail for murder. The story became headline news filled with the kind of details that you would find in a page-turning romantic thriller. Now, for the very first time since the story broke in 2011, the two women, the wife and the mistress, come face to face today here on this stage. Take a look at how it all started 4 years ago.
We do have some breaking news to report. Dispatchers say they have received a report of shots fired.
Police say a criminal defense attorney was fatally shot after a domestic dispute last night.
Just after 10, scanners started blaring as police tell dispatch there's 2 men down and 1 shot in the head.
We're in the process of combing the area to try and find anything we can to help us figure out what happened here tonight.
Turns out police believe the survivor is the suspect. They say a 42-year-old man confronted the victim, 30-year-old Emmett Corrigan, with a gun in the Walgreens parking lot. That's when the struggle turned deadly and Corrigan was killed.
Investigators began piecing this story together and realized that the two men were fighting over one woman, Candy. Now, Candy was married to Rob, but was sleeping with her boss, Ashley's husband, Emmett. Now, Ashley and Emmett had been married 7 years. Ashley was a stay-at-home mom with 5 children. Emmett was a successful attorney. The other couple, Rob and Candy, had been married 19 years and had 2 children of their own. Candy was a paralegal and did some work for Emmett, and apparently a whole lot more. When her husband Rob discovered their affair, he went to confront the lawyer who was laying his hands on his wife. That's when the story took a deadly turn.
On that March night, she says she was with Corrigan and her husband was waiting for them in the parking lot.
Rob said, "What are you doing with my wife at 10 o'clock at night?" Emmett says to Rob, "She doesn't want to be with you anymore." Emmett continued to degrade Rob. "How much money did you make last year, Rob?" "What did we make last week, Candy?" $32,000? Emmett said something about size. Then Rob said, "And what about your poor wife? You have a brand new baby." Emmett exploded.
Corrigan shoved Rob. She says she told them that's enough and started towards her car.
That's when I heard the gunshots.
Investigators and attorneys worked more than a year and a half trying to piece together exactly what happened. Jurors have had 2 weeks to digest witness testimonies, including key witness Rob's wife, Candy Hall.
I literally watched him take his last breath.
Premeditated murder or self-defense. While Hall's attorneys say there's not enough evidence, prosecutors say the case is simple.
The defendant was not justified in his actions. He had the motive. He had that opportunity. He took it.
Well, Candy's husband, Rob, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for second-degree murder. Candy says that's not fair because it wasn't murder, it was self-defense. But Ashley disagrees. She had no idea her husband was even having an affair until the police revealed the details of his fatal shooting.
I met Emmett when we were in college together. We got married it was almost 5 months after we met. And the early years of our marriage were perfect. You know, all I ever wanted was to be a wife and a mom. And we got blessed with children right away, and we were living our dream. Once he started working, I thought things were gonna calm down and we'd have him around, but he just kept drifting further and further away. A few months before Emmett died, I started really thinking that something was wrong. I didn't feel the loving Emmett that I had always felt. When I look at pictures of Emmett, I almost look at myself like, what an idiot you were. You didn't have a clue. The rational side of my brain would be like, he doesn't want an older woman, he's got you. It's humiliating. Who wants to be the wife who wasn't enough? The night Emmett died, I sat there just tears running down my face. Like, how am I supposed to fix this marriage when I really don't know what I'm doing wrong? I'm trying everything. Emmett said, hey, I'm gonna go run to Walgreens really fast. I'll be right back. I said, please don't go. I need you today. I need us. I need to figure out whatever is going on with you and me and fix it. The last thing he said to me, he said, no, don't tell me what to do, I'm going. At 1 a.m., 3 police officers said, there's been an accident and your husband Emmett has been shot and killed. So at the same second that I found out he was dead, I found out it was because he had been unfaithful. The hardest thing to hear was Candy was holding Emmett in her arms as he died. I wanted to scream, you don't have the right to watch him take his last breath. He wasn't yours. He didn't die fighting for me. He died fighting for her.
Well, Ashley hasn't spoken to Candy since the trial 4 years ago, and she has a restraining order against her that actually doesn't expire until the year 2026. But she lifted it just for today so that the two women can face each other here for the first time. Ashley wants an apology from Candy. We're going to see if that happens when we meet the mistress later. But first, I have some questions for Ashley. You say, out of the blue, you had no idea that he was having an affair?
I had no idea.
But you said when you first met Candy, there was something about her that sent off warnings in your head.
Yeah, I think a lot of times in my life I've had those, something's not quite right feeling. And that was definitely one of those for me.
Ashley has actually written a book, Silence Breaks. And she describes her first meeting with Candy. And here's what you said in the book. Quote, she had on a mini skirt and hooker boots. Her cleavage was everywhere. She was older. She looked like she was being paid for her, quote, not so professional services. I felt nauseous. I felt she was definitely not the type of woman to whom Emmett would be attracted. This was the first time you saw her, and that's when you said something didn't look right. She wasn't dressed the way you thought a professional woman would be dressed.
Exactly.
In a lawyer's office. And that night, when he said, I'm leaving, I'm going to Walgreens to pick up prescription, and you said, don't leave, I need you really here with me. Did you think he was going off somewhere he shouldn't be, or did you think he was just going to run an errand?
No, I knew he was going somewhere he shouldn't be because it had been kind of the same pattern for a couple weeks.
But yet you had no idea he was having an affair. Where did you think he was going if this was a pattern and he was leaving unexpectedly?
I thought maybe it was like a drinking thing or something like that.
I'm sorry. I don't fully buy that she had no idea. Maybe she didn't have proof, sure. But when somebody you've built a life with suddenly starts moving different, becoming distant, secretive, the energy changes. You feel it, especially in a marriage. I think deep down she probably sensed something was off, but sometimes people don't want to face the truth because the truth changes everything. It's easier to tell yourself, maybe I'm overthinking, than to accept your husband might be cheating. And the crazy part is, she literally said the marriage wasn't the same anymore. That alone tells me her intuition was already picking up that something wasn't right.
Every time I would beg him to let me in, he never gave me any answers.
Then the next thing you know, you have police on your doorstep.
Yeah.
And it unfolds from there. Okay, we'll talk about that coming up. When we come back, the woman who held Ashley's dying husband in her arms comes face to face with his widow for the first time.
Emmett told me about a paralegal named Candy that he wanted to bring on and start a law firm with. The minute I heard her name, I just got this uneasy feeling. I went to visit Emmett at his office, and that was the first time I met Candy. I walked in, and everyone was just kind of staring at me weird. I said, hey, is Emmett in there? And they're like, yeah, he's in there with Candy. We dare you to walk in. I just opened the door, and I walked in, and they were sitting there giggling, and things just didn't seem right.
Two married couples, Ashley and Emmett, Candy and Rob, seemingly happy from the looks of these pictures, right? But the truth came out on March 11th, 2011, when their worlds were destroyed by an affair and a murder. Ashley was married to attorney Emmett for 7 years. She never imagined Emmett would be having an affair with his older paralegal Candy.
I met Emmett at a business lunch. He was in hot pursuit of me coming to work for him. He would show up at my office every morning, email constantly, all day long. One morning, we went to pick up some items for the office, and that's when he kissed me. He said, "I'm sorry, I just had to do that." I thought to myself, what is he doing? I'm not worthy of a man that's 10 years younger than me. I remember Emmett's paralegal telling me that he had 5 children, but that his wife was awful towards him. I think deep down, Emmett knew what he was doing with me was wrong, but he didn't know how to change it. He liked all the attention and the control that he had while he was cheating. Ashley has to understand that this behavior of Emmett's, it started way before me. He ruined the family years ago. I did not ruin that family, but I am the only one that she blames for everything. I think the most hurtful thing, it's how Ashley portrays me as some cheap, slutty, no good for nothing, inconsiderate whore. I think if Emmett was here today, he would actually tell Ashley that she's wrong about what she's doing. I strayed, that's what I did, but that does not define who I am.
See, this is what gets me. How are you acting like you were just an innocent bystander in all this? Like, yes, the husband absolutely destroyed his marriage. Nobody is denying that. But ma'am, you were not a random spectator. You were participating. You don't get to stand in the middle of an affair and then act shocked people associate you with it. And this whole, "this doesn't define who I am" line, girl, maybe not completely, but it definitely says something. Because good people don't accidentally end up in secret relationships with married men. And the way she keeps putting it all on the deceased husband feels convenient. Like suddenly she had no choices, no responsibility, no accountability. Please, 2 people were involved in this mess, not 1.
Well, Candy has not spoken to Ashley in 4 years, and as I said earlier, Ashley had a long-standing restraining order against Candy, but she lifted it just for today's show. So let's bring Candy out. Candy, Dr. Phil. Right here.
What do you want to hear? You want to hear me say sorry? I am absolutely sorry. I have been sorry since day one.
Emma didn't deserve to die. I'm not here to have you say you're sorry. I'm here to hopefully help you understand what it's been for me. You had this power over me because you hurt me so bad. And I was waiting and waiting for you to come and fix me. And I guess today I'm not here for you to fix me because I've done that all by myself. I've been dropped to the ground by all 3 of these collisions. So I just want you to know that I'm still standing. I'm still me. You might have made me fall by some of your choices, but you didn't break me.
And now, this is the part that really blows me, because why are you coming out with attitude? Ma'am, you were the side chick, not the victim here. The wife is the one who got cheated on, embarrassed, and had her marriage fall apart. But somehow, you're the one rolling your eyes and catching attitude? Please be serious. Like the audacity has entered the building before she even sat down.
I think it's important for people to understand the internal dialogue that you had. What did it mean to you that your husband took his last breath with her and not with you?
It was humiliating, you know? You marry someone so you can be their everything. So on really hard nights when you're questioning who you are, they're fighting for you. And to have a gun tell me that I wasn't enough for it to stay at home and to have a man so angry that I wasn't enough and my children weren't enough for him to beat the crap out of Emmett. That would have been fine. He probably deserved that. And then to have a woman who, you knew who I was. I mean, my picture at one time was in Emmett's office. You held my baby, for gosh sakes. You volunteered to babysit my baby. And then to have this night where you're telling Emmett that your husband's beating you up and you're telling your husband that Emmett's doing all this stuff. And to have this night where almost you wanted them to fight for you.
No.
That wasn't fair. Because my husband should have been home fighting for me, and that's been the hardest thing, to know that I wasn't enough for even you.
You were fooled, okay? I never told him that Robert was hitting me. I never asked for him to follow me home.
Why were you going with him to seek a divorce attorney because of
No,
abuse?
he took me there. Emmett's the one who set it up. Emmett wanted me to leave
So if he was so
Rob.
bad, why were you having sex with him?
Because it's an affair is the most selfish thing you can do. It is the worst thing I've ever done. I did have a major voice.
I actually agree with her on that part. It was selfish, because at no point did she stop and think, this man has a whole wife and 5 kids at home. Affairs don't just hurt one person. They shake up an entire family, and that's what makes it worse for me. There were kids involved, and she still kept entertaining this man anyway. That's not just messy, that's reckless.
In my life at the time, and he filled it. Even though this was my first and only affair, this wasn't Emmett's only affair. I found out about his affairs after the shooting in police reports, just as Ashley did.
They think they have some pretty concrete proof that Emmett had other affairs, but no one's come forward or anything like that. Finding out that my husband had shared an important part of our marriage with other people, it made me feel smaller than I could ever imagine.
We obtained a police report where a woman came forward to explain to the police that the scratches on Emmett's hands found during his autopsy came from a night of wild sex with her, is what she testified to, right? She said, yeah, well, it wasn't really rough sex. He just got into it, laugh. I guess he just hit the headboard with his hand. And that came out in explanation about what was on his hands that they found in the autopsy, right?
I actually have no idea.
Right. And you now know that Candy was one of more than just her.
I have to live with this every day. I know. You need to know that it wasn't just me. He had sex with somebody else the week before me.
Why is she talking to the wife like she's the enemy here? Like, okay, he cheated before. And what does that change about your part in this situation? And the wife is right to feel away because those other affairs didn't end with this man losing his life. This situation did. So bringing up old cheating almost feels like she's trying to dodge accountability. And when she says, I have to live with this every day, girl, respectfully, you helped create this mess. What about the wife? What about the kids who lost their father? Everybody's carrying something because of choices that were made.
According to Candy, Emmett was amped up and full of rage the night of the murder. She says he was aggressive and ready to fight. Take a look.
Emmett came off as arrogant, very cocky, not just as an attorney, but as a person in general. In Ashley's book, she states that Emmett tested negative for steroids, when that is absolutely false. I do believe that it was the steroids that ultimately destroyed him. I'm not sad that he's gone. He was destructive, he was self-centered, and I just don't believe that he had any good left in him.
That says a lot right there. Because if the relationship was supposedly so meaningful, the first thing coming out of your mouth wouldn't be, I'm not sad he's gone. Now, was he selfish and destructive? Absolutely. The man was cheating, lying, and hurting multiple people at once. but it's weird how she keeps dragging him while also acting like she had no role in the chaos herself. Like, ma'am, you were calling this man selfish while willingly being involved with him the whole time. Make it make sense.
The defense mentioned that Emmett might have been taking steroids, but all of the blood tests didn't show any drugs or steroids. When the police told me there were no drugs in his system, I was just defeated. I wanted there to be drugs, so there was a reason why he was choosing her.
You say you're not sorry that he's gone.
You know, that might sound harsh and, you know, like cold, but I'm not.
Are you surprised to hear her say that?
From all that she said a second ago, yeah. How hard it's been for her, but she's not sad that he's gone. And hold on. So even if he was aggressive, did he deserve to get shot in the face and in the heart?
No one deserves to be shot in the head or in the chest or whatever it was.
And if your husband worked for the police department and you say that you knew Emmett was very aggressive, couldn't they have handled it in a different way, maybe?
I think it was never intended to go that way. I think it was never even, no, I don't think it was, because the way the conversation was going, it was going downhill. And then Rob points you out, you being home, your poor wife, and that's when he lost.
Is there any way Rob could have told himself that? Pointed out me.
I don't know.
Himself?
I can't speak for Rob. All I can tell you is what happened. As much as I saw, I didn't see everything.
You did.
No, I didn't. I saw the confrontation.
When the blood was all over your face
yeah.
and they were taking pictures and you said you saw everything, and then your story changed to the trial that all of a sudden your back was turned. I mean, really,
said I saw
if we're
everything.
going to have the truth out on the floor today, we got to figure out what that is. We got to figure out what the truth is. Because regardless of whatever Emmett was or wasn't, he was mine.
Well,
he was mine. And those 5 days, he was there. And maybe you're glad he's gone, but it's been hard for me.
Okay, I lost my husband as well. I lost my whole everything. I lost my whole
Did you get
life.
to hear that he's sorry and that he still loves you?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
But
I don't.
You know what? And I do. Okay, I do. But your marriage did not end because of me.
That wasn't your choice.
Okay, you're right. It's not my choice. But it's, when are you going to stop nailing me about everything?
I'm not nailing you about everything.
See, this is where the side eye gets strong for me. Because why are you getting snappy with the wife like she's supposed to comfort you? And yes, maybe the marriage already had problems. Nobody is saying it was perfect. But girl, you were still part of the mess. You don't get to step into a broken marriage, help make things worse, and then act confused when the wife blames you too. And this whole "I lost my husband too" thing? Ma'am, respectfully, her husband died. You get to see and speak to yours, and she doesn't. The wife and kids are the ones dealing with the real fallout of all this. The attitude is what's getting me, because accountability keeps dodging her like it owes her money.
You are.
My entire book is my emotions, how it felt for me. And you don't have to agree.
I don't agree, but I'll tell you, when you just keep on me, you don't think of my kids.
I've prayed for your kids. I've prayed for you. I want you to know
You've
that.
prayed for them while you write. You blog about me.
I don't blog about you.
You do. My first and last
few...
name. I mean, come on. I mean, it's insane. You keep it going. I mean, and it's like it's been 4 years. We have to live where we're at. We can't go anywhere else. And I'm just trying to move forward. And so are they.
That's what I'm trying to do too.
And you are.
Sound was off, or this was in a foreign language and I didn't understand the words, and I could just hear the intonation, the tone. I would think that you had an affair with her husband and he got killed. And it's the other way around. You had an affair with her husband and he wound up getting murdered, but you seem highly offended by this whole thing, and I don't understand.
I'm with Dr. Phil on that one, because the way she came out talking, you would really think she was the betrayed wife here. Like, ma'am, you were sleeping with somebody else's husband, but somehow you're the one catching attitude, getting defensive, rolling your eyes, snapping at people? Please. The confidence is actually wild, because if anybody has the right to be angry in this situation, it's definitely not the side chick.
I really don't. Are you offended by the things she's writing? Is that what it is?
No, and I understand.
Because you
she
seem
needs
to be
write it.
lecturing the woman that you interloped into her family, and her husband wound up getting murdered for his trouble.
I'm not offended by her.
I missed a
by
step
how
here
hurt.
somewhere.
But she's hurt, and look, I understand, and I am so sorry about everything. I feel guilt every single waking day, and I don't know how to make it better. I don't know what else to say.
Well,
and
I'm
sorry
pretty
if I
sure
sound
lecturing
like that.
her would not be the way to start.
I'm trying not to lecture her. I'm just trying to.
Because I
want
hear you saying, "Let me
understand.
tell you something. You need to stop. You need to." I'm hearing a lot of that, and I'm thinking, that's not the way I would be trying to make peace here.
I don't know other ways. I don't know. I guess I'm filled with frustration.
Am I missing something here?
No, you're not.
What are you offended by? Because you are offended. You're offended by something.
I am that it just keeps going on. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm just trying to move forward and be okay. And I understand all of that, though. I understand how.
Have you told the truth for all of this?
The truth of what I know, yes.
Did the judge say you were a liar?
Yes, he
did. He
did.
say you were the biggest liar he had ever heard since he had been on the bench?
Yes, he did. And he was saying that in the 32 years that he was on the bench, he has never heard anybody change their story as much. And that's what he said.
Did she change her story?
From what I could tell.
Was there one story where she saw what happened and another story where she didn't see what happened?
Yes.
Did you see what happened?
No, I did not.
Did you say you saw what happened?
No, I don't remember saying I saw what happened. My back was turned. They know it. That's what I've always stated because that's all I know.
Except the night of. And she had blood all over her face and was facing.
I had blood all over Rob had blood all over his face, and
You had blood all over your face in the pictures, and they even said to you, remember when you told us that you watched him shoot Emmett?
Oh, I don't remember. I've never seen that, number one. I've never seen that report. I don't remember. I've never been through anything. I was in complete shock. I don't remember most of anything. I have no idea. And I told them that. And I'm not trying to say that I'm lying. I told them, I don't remember. If you want me to look at something and say, did you say this? Well, let me look and see. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm sorry that nobody can understand that. But that is the truth.
Well, I totally...
I'm not really buying that she didn't see what happened either. Because if your husband and the guy you're involved with are literally in a heated fight, why are you turning your back like everything is calm? That's not a nothing to see here moment. That's a you stay alert because anything can happen situation. So it just feels a bit off acting like she was completely clueless in that moment.
Understand how this could be an astoundingly shocking situation that it would be very difficult to sort out in your mind. That is a legitimate phenomenon. That really is a difficult situation to sort through. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't have other motivations to change your story either, but eyewitnesses are highly unreliable, particularly if they're emotionally charged in a high trauma situation.
My new husband, Sean, he is the greatest gift to our family. Emmett died in March, and then we met in May, and then by the end of the summer, we were married. It was crazy fast.
I think it is very strange that she got married so quickly after Emmett's death. I find it very creepy that the current husband of Ashley drives Emmett's truck. I don't understand that. It seems odd. She likes to blog about everything in her life, but yet when it comes to her current husband, she's not straightforward on how quick it was. It's no one's business, but she makes it their business because she puts it out there.
I get why that looks strange, because the timing is very fast. Like a month after losing your husband is still deep grief territory. And the kids are definitely still processing their father's death too. It doesn't automatically mean she didn't love him or she's wrong for ever moving on. But jumping into a new relationship that quickly just raises questions. It can come off like the grief hasn't even had space to breathe yet. At the same time, people handle loss differently. But yeah, from the outside looking in, it feels rushed and kind of unsettling given everything the kids are still going through.
Well, Ashley says she is a victim of murder. She became a widow at 28 with her youngest of 5 children was being just 6 weeks old. She also says she is a victim of infidelity because of her husband's choice to have an affair with Candy. Were Candy and her husband of 19 years, Rob, on the verge of divorce? Well, take a look.
When we moved to Idaho, Rob met a woman and started having an affair. I suspected something was going on. I just didn't know what it was. One night he came home and told me that he was having an affair. I didn't get upset. It was more of a shock, and I just asked him to fix it. This was Rob's only affair. It was so unexpected. It damages you to be hurt by someone that you trusted and is your best friend. Around the time of the shooting, my husband and I were going through a very tough time. My husband was about to move out. He had boxes packed, and I knew it was all my fault. I completely turned my feelings off. I didn't want to feel him trying so hard in our marriage because I knew how guilty I was of having an affair. We took the wrong road, both of us did, and with horrific consequences.
Your marriage was in trouble.
Yes.
And that was difficult. Your marriage was in trouble. You were feeling it.
Yeah.
So both of you were having a difficult time with your marriage. There was an email that was written to Ashley from Emmett on July 15th of 2010. And Candy says Emmett gave a copy of this email to her right before they started their affair. And in it, he talks about ending his marriage to Ashley. He says, I am over words. For the last couple of years, I've been falling more and more out of love with you. I'm at a point where I hate going anywhere with you because I'm going to get in trouble. There is zero trust in our marriage. You feel like I don't look at you, but I always do. I love you. I love the girl who originally fell in love with me more. But if I have to leave you so my son doesn't have to question his father's integrity, then I will. I want to be your hero again. Now, he wrote this email to you, but he gave a copy of it to you,
Right.
but you didn't read it.
No, he gave it to me during.
But you didn't read it.
I did not.
Were you in love with him?
I was infatuated, and I loved being loved by him, supposedly being loved by him.
When this happened, at one point after the shooting, both of them were on the ground.
Yes.
Who did you run to?
Well, the first person I saw was Rob. So I ran over to him, and his head was down, and there was blood just pumping out of the top of his head. So I had my hand on his head, and I had dialed 911. I remember screaming, and then the woman on the phone on 911 said, is there someone else there? Is someone else hurt? And that's when Emmett, and I turned and I saw him laying there. And then that's when I ran over and kind of just tilted him. And that's when all the water came out of his nose.
You left Rob.
Yeah.
With blood pumping out of his head, and you went to Emmett.
Because she asked me who else is there.
I was humiliated that the whole town found out my marriage problems at the same time I did. I was so mad at Emmett. I gave him every chance to let me in, and I would have done anything to help him. The trial just reminded me that nobody gave a damn who I was.
I didn't feel that I was a victim for a very long time. I couldn't even say that word. I'm a victim.
A victim of what exactly? That's the part that's confusing me. Because nobody forced you into that situation. You chose to step into a married man's life knowing exactly what it was. Like, I get people can feel conflicted after the fact, but calling yourself a victim here just doesn't sit right. At best, you were part of a messy situation you willingly stayed in. You don't get to play victim and participant at the same time. It just doesn't add up.
But in all sense, I am. I have to live knowing that this is going to be always a part of my past. Ashley is hurting my family by putting everything on social media, writing books, and they're innocent.
Candy's daughters, Hannah and Haley, are here. Hannah just happened to be driving by the drugstore and saw Candy's car in the parking lot, and she called her dad. Then we know how this story ended. You say you feel guilt about this. In what way?
Just, gosh, I don't know. It's just the way it all went down. People initially, when like the trial was going on, people would ask me, well, why'd you call your dad? Why'd you let him know where she was? He asked me. At the time I was 16, you know, hearing that you had some ulterior motive. I'm 16 years old. My dad asked where my mom was. There was no motive whatsoever.
Please.
I was at the trial when you testified, and I hope that you know that there were so many people there that just felt more bad that you had to be dragged into it. And I honestly don't think there was one person who blames you for anything.
And you certainly have no ill will towards Haley or Hannah in any way, right?
No way.
And have you all stayed in contact with your dad? Do you talk to him, stay in touch?
Yeah, we can write him. I see him mostly every Saturday.
You know, Rob is serving a 30-year prison sentence at this point. Cameras are not allowed in the prison, but Rob did give us a statement that he wanted us to share, which reads, Dr. Phil, I wanted to voice my opinion and be part of the show, but I believe speaking face-to-face or by video conference is a lot more telling than over the phone. I've never spoken to anyone publicly about my case and want to make sure the first time will be meaningful and with a positive outcome. I do strongly believe justice was not served, and the information I handed over to the show was only a glimpse of the injustice in my trial. My wife and daughters are what keep me going every day. I love them more than anything in this world. We're a strong family, and will remain positive that we will all be reunited as a family once again very soon. I want to make it very clear to everyone watching the show that this horrible event and me being in prison did not happen because of Candy. This happened because of Emmett Corrigan. Thank you again for the time that you have helped my wife, and girls, I truly hope you will find a way to speak with me face to face and see the real truth behind all of this. Thank you again, Rob Hall.
You have got to be kidding me. Talking about justice was not served. Sir, you are literally in prison for unaliving someone. The confidence is actually wild. And trying to shift all the blame onto the deceased husband and saying the wife shouldn't be blamed? Like, what? Nobody's saying she caused anything, but you don't get to erase your own actions in the process. That's not how accountability works. And the side chick having 2 daughters makes it even heavier, because imagine what they're absorbing from all this. Whether she admits it or not, kids learn from what you normalize, and this whole situation is a lot to unpack.
So that's what Rob had to say. Any response to his statement?
Not at this time.
What do you think happened that night?
I think that there was absolutely no intent for him to go there and shoot anybody.
How come he took a gun?
He always had his gun. But I truly believe that Emmett wasn't going to let him walk out of there. Not the way he was that night. I'm looking for a way to move on. I'm looking for a way to say that I made a mistake. I don't want to put any blame on you, by no means. You are
I didn't do anything
innocent.
wrong.
You didn't, and I've always said that. I've never said you did anything wrong.
And
well,
Emmett
actually, you have.
Well,
You-
I
you
did,
said
but-
that she's making a career out of this, that
Oh, well, that
she's
part,
writing
yeah.
about you, that she doesn't have the right to express her opinion, and that you wish she would just shut up, get over it, and move on.
I wish she would stop writing about me. That's
I wish
just
she
for
would have
using my
stopped
name.
sleeping with my husband.
Yeah, well,
You know,
And at this point, you do yourself no service by coming on here or anywhere else and taking the inventory of the woman whose husband you slept with and is now dead.
right.
That is unbecoming to you. It is non-credible, and it just defies logic. You talk about how do I move on? You move on by taking care of you and your girls here and focusing on you. I wish the best for you and your family, and I wish the best for you and your family. And I hope people learn from this and learn from the lessons in it.
When you look at everything together, it just turns into a cycle of nobody really taking full accountability. Everyone's pointing fingers, shifting blame, rewriting parts of the story that suit them. But at the end of the day, there's a wife who lost her marriage, children who lost their father, and a whole lot of emotional damage that can't just be talked away on a stage. You can understand parts of people's pain without excusing their choices. Both things can be true at the same time. But what's missing here is just ownership of what each person contributed to how far things went. And I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments, because this one is messy from every angle. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.